This tutorial, semi-short, is going to be on how to use the comment bank feature of Gradebook so that it can help really streamline your work for comments and for the progress reports. So what you need to do is go to Gradebook and click on Preferences. And I have my gradebook here entered, but I want to delete all of these so that it's clear. So I think that's a good practice as well, is deleting your comments from previous semester or quarters so that you don't have as many to choose from and you don't make any mistakes. I keep all my actual words in a Google Doc as recommended in our tips and tricks guidelines. So once your comment bank is clear, you're going to go and click on Add. And to be organized, I made my Google Doc of my comments for this quarter 3. And I did an overview. I made individual feedback for a low, medium, and high. I just made a low. And I did an anticipated grade, what I would say if somebody was going to get a 2, 3, or 4. I knew to include those parts into my comment bank because I was reading this report card tips and tricks or tips and guidelines, and it said 2 to 3 sentences of an overview and a transition of individual feedback, and it also said it would be important to do with like kind of anticipated grade for the semester. So that's what I have set up. So these are the smart text codes. So whenever you want a first name to appear, you click or you insert this code for first name. So it'd be this first name, so maybe Albert has been working on conducting research. Then if you want to say him or her, this is the code for him or her with lowercase or with capital letters, which can be important sometimes. So when you're making your bank on a Google Doc, you could use these right away. So let's see how that works in PowerSchool. Since I already made this, it'll be a little bit quicker for me to insert these. So the code, the first thing I want is a quarter 3 overview. And I can leave that to be the same as that category. And then these are the smart text, so I could just say first name and then start typing my paragraph. However, I already have it done. So I'm going to copy it and paste it into this. And the codes are already there. If the code wasn't there, I could just say first name and it would be inserted. So this is an overall comment that I'm going to give to everybody. So I'm going to add it here. Then I want to have my individual feedback, and I have an individual feedback for low. And I'm going to write Q3 here so that I don't get confused. And then I copy paste from that document, since I already added the smart text codes. Again, if you didn't, you can just select from here, scroll down, I want a he, she, needed extra help, finding reliable resources, and then first name is beginning because it automatically inserts their information from PowerSchool. So I say, okay. Then I also want to do an anticipated grade, and then this anticipated grade is going to be a 2. And so say based on their performance, they're likely to get a 2, and then I gave a little recommendation how they could maybe not get a 2. Again, I add that, and I'm going to delete that space so nothing weird happens. And I say, okay, so let's say I've added maybe the medium and high and the 3, 4, or 1. My comment bank is done. I hope that's saved. Yep. And so 1 second here. I'm going to close this, and I want to clear these comments out. You won't have any, but I just want to clear these comments. All right, so now I want to start with my students. So I'm going to click on here, and your box may appear small, which is difficult to see. So if you want, you can pull it down to be a little bit larger. So all you need to do here is you're going to double click, and it's going to add. Separate using line breaks or spaces. That means that after you insert the overview and you want to do the low, do you want it to be on a new line or just have a space? I think it looks better with a space, so I select space. So for the student, I need to give the overview. Then I have to give his low, individual feedback. Oh, and I noticed here he needed, so that has no space. So in my comment bank, I need to go back and add that space correctly. And then I say the 2. You notice here for Albert, it adds his name here, and then it adds, his her did not work. So I need to go back and look at why. Let's go back and troubleshoot this together. So he, she, Let's edit this. And I can see I have his, her, but I actually didn't insert it correctly. I needed to say his, her with these codes. So that's really important. So if something's not working, maybe check to make sure you have these symbols here for the coding. Say okay. I'm going to double check this one. Good. And I'm going to double check this one to make sure that I don't have something weird. Here again, I did it her, him, and make sure that that's not the right one. I do her, him. All right. So now my comment bank is adjusted. So I did a little spot checking. So I have an overview, get them on spaces, then I have their low, and then their anticipated grade. And you can see it adds in for that student's name. So this is George now, and it's going into George's. Now, instead of clicking close, I can just click next here. And now I'm working with Mary. So I do their overview, their high, medium, or low, and then their anticipated grade. So you can see how this can really save a lot of time, but you do have to invest in getting yourself organized to make the general comments for the overview, the low, medium, high, and the anticipated grade, if that's how you're doing your comments. Hopefully this helps. Please feel free to reach out if you need more assistance.